Yo, what's going on, party people? It's the kid, the one and only, L Wavy Baby himself. You dig what I'm saying? Tapping in one time for the one time from Wavo World. You feel me? As always, want to thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in from day one to today to many days ahead, right? And yeah, like I always say, gotta thank y'all for that, because y'all could be doing a lot of other things other than tuning in with me and seeing what's going on from a conscious reality of mine, right? But yeah, today what we getting into, practicing what I speak with an arrow drawn to it, potential to reality. I ain't even gonna focus like so hard on like the board today. Like I'll use it as my reference points, because I think today is more for me, but it could speak toward a lot of different angles of how to operate within truly trying to manifest, right? So the reason why I have that, as I look at it, practicing what I speak, more or less having the time to practice what I speak. And because I wrote that maybe a day or so ago, and because I had something up there for about a week and then it just changed. But I've been feeling, for me, like I need more time to manifest, meaning I have so much stuff going on that I'm doing, even on top of working and stuff too. Not that I feel not that I feel overwhelmed or anything like that. It's just, if I really want to practice what I'm speaking, and it's a reason why I say speak instead of preach, because I don't believe I'm preaching anything. I'm speaking directly to how I live, how I see it, and what the Spirit is using me for, as a vessel for, and I just feel like I need that actual time to put forth more work. In short, alchemy, magic, to most, is making something out of nothing. And I've done that for quite some time, even to this point. It's a lot of opportunities I've created out of absolutely nothing. People wouldn't even, if I told people how I did half of what I did, they wouldn't believe it to be so it has to be magic. Right? But on a more forward level, that alchemy, really turning nothing into something. Now that I'm seeing the potential in having turned that nothing into something, trying to now take that something that's something to me that I see when in a lot of things that I've created is potential. Now making that potential refurbished into a full reality, making that something turn into a lot more, turn into something that's, tangible, on the basis of create stability. It's like the foundation is laid. Now you got to build the house. And that's the stage that I'm in, So with that being said, I probably won't be doing these weekly like I have been. And that's just for sake of really taking the time to cultivate my manifestations, or what they would say, or how they would say, in nurturing your blessings, And I'm really in that stage of the game right now, like fully, because I now see and fully understand and overstand, that I've been given the gift of speech as well as the gift of friendship. And I say that because Wavo World has given me a platform to be able to convey how I live to everyone in a way that they can all hear it. Because when I think about who I am out in the world for real, I'm still very much so rough around the edges. I'm still me, I'm not a fictitious character. However, I've always been able to articulate very well and enunciate and pronounce my words, and then know what those words mean that I use that don't get used in the regular vernacular. So like Wavo World is giving me that platform to show that side of myself. I'm grateful for that, but I see it really transforming into something else. So in order to fully hone in on that the way that I know I should, I know that I need to take that time to step back, step away, and go into those quiet spaces a little more frequently, because I see the impact it's had on my life, but I also see like to the magnitude of impact it's had on my life when I've done it, when I've done it in, I don't want to just say the word abundance, but when I've done it in large quantities, when I've done it, for extended periods of time. So for me, I just want to really get back into that to see more results, because I know that it's like everything that I've pausing to say, I just really realized that I've been 12 weeks in doing Wavo World when I didn't have any thought or real initiative to do it. And then when I think about and then notice the impact that it's having on the people, when you talk about the response I'm getting for a lot of different things that I'm covering, like I'm noticing that yes, it's a great thing, it's an awesome thing. However, in order for me to keep growing and evolving, I still need to take that time for myself to the best that I can, or to the best of my ability, and still find balance in between. Again, I don't feel like I'm teaching anything. I'm just coinciding with those who live this lifestyle, but being able to still give that part back, as a safe space. I really feel like Wavo World is a safe space and safe place for those of us who are conscious, for those of us who are, into all things metaphysical, to come and get that oomph back, and that reset of thought back, to know that you're not crazy, and, building that community, so to say, But yeah, that's what I mean by, practicing what I speak. Again, it should have been taking the time to practice what I speak, because I really feel as though deeper than living it, it's just, there's so much more to the game, and I'm learning that too. And I want to make sure that I'm living it to the best of my ability so that I can get the most out of it. I was saying to myself the other day, after having accomplished one of my goals, I'm going to max this life out, all the way out, for everything that I know that I'm here and purposed for whatever capabilities that I do have. I'm going to make sure that I max it all the way out. I want to make sure that when I'm gone, I have zero regrets for anything that I was supposed to do that I didn't do. Nope, I'm not going out that way. So that's the main basis behind that for me, So the next one, what I got, why everyone gets a different me with an arrow drawn to boundaries. So this is a deep one, right? And I feel like it kind of coincides with something I said a few seconds ago, for real. I said, I recognize that I have the gift of speech and the gift of friendship. I don't take either of the two for granted at all. However, when you talk about who I am as a person, I'm very intrusive. Not intrusive, introverted. That was probably an intrusive thought, so to say. But I'm very, very, very much so an introvert. I'm to myself. I prefer to be to myself, because I understand that someone that thinks on my thought pattern or brainwave is normally ostracized for it. So I tend to keep a lot of stuff to myself, especially deeper than the person who thinks like me, a person that lives like me, that's into the stuff that I'm into. When you talk about like musically and fashion and clothing and just stuff like that, just stuff that I do, it could be seen as bragging in different ways too. And so I'm not very keen on just letting so many people into my life, you know what I mean? Like it's very difficult for me to do that. I've always felt like, to a degree, like I try to explaining this to a friend or should I say a group of people, but more or less to a friend a while back, that I'm not good at texting for real. I'm not good at checking in on people for real, especially not anymore. I be feeling like I bother people. And it's because I know that on the other side of that phone is another person who has their own life going on. And I live my life in so much so of a way, to the point where it's not the norm. So identifying with everybody when my lifestyle just isn't of norm, and that's really putting consciousness and spirituality to the side. Just the stuff that I'm into and I do. I don't find a lot of commonality with a lot of different people. Now, that's not to say that I can't befriend anyone. That's why I say I have the gift of friendship, because through, I don't know, every bit of 10 to 15 minutes of conversation with the person, especially if I have to be around you on a regular basis, I can forge or create a friendship with you. And I don't want to more or less use the word forge there, but I'll say create. And then I'll use forge later on within this conversation, in relation to friendship being created too. And you'll see why I broke it up like that, right? But within the first 15 and 20 minutes of conversation with a person, I can definitely create a friendship, enough so with them to tolerate them, if we have to be within dealings, whether it be work, whether it be business of some sort that we're creating on our own together, whether it be a living situation, whatever have you. I'm able to do those things. Now, when we talk about being able to forge one, that's maybe I should have flipped it. Forge would be in a situation where I'm forced to do it, like at work or in a living situation or in a business proposition. I would be forced to forge a friendship with you because I have to know who you are, but even within the means of that, I know how to allow myself to just be myself to the best of that relationship will allow me to be. Now, when you talk about creating a genuine relationship, that's a relationship or a friendship that's created without any intentions. See, those three that I just named, a lot of those have intentions behind them. So there's always going to be a boundary, a large boundary set there, which in a way should. I have no issue with that, right? But it's when the lines get blurred in a sense or means of that person wants a created relationship on a genuine basis, when that wasn't how it was created. It was forged. And then that person to see the difference in relationship you have with them and then a relationship that was created genuinely. Just, it didn't have a reason for creation other than the vibration was felt that these two are kinship of energy, or have a kinship of energy, or however it needed to be said, right? But that energy is keen to each other, but it's kin to each other, so to say, to where it just vibrates well. It gels very well with each other. And I have those interactions with people regularly, but sometimes I'll have those interactions with people amongst others that have been forged, and it creates a divide or a frustration. So to say, this one, I had a guy ask me recently, a guy that I work with, he's like, man, why when it comes to me, there's like a pushback, so to say, or like a, not a dismissal, but a frustration almost. That's the word he used. It was just like, no, it's definitely not. But I would say, and to be completely honest with you, that I don't rush to have a relationship or friendship with you, because anytime that I've ever spoken with you, aside from anything we need to get accomplished work related, it's always negative, extremely negative. And he, before I said that, he stated unto me, it was like, yeah, I don't know you like that. I halfway know your name. I haven't slept with your girlfriend. I don't know where you're from for real. I was like, well, consider, you don't know any of those things, but I know all those things about you. On top of every conversation I've ever had with you has been a dump of negativity. And also to be said too, it's not just you. Anybody that gives me a dump of that type of energy, I don't deal with. And I typically deal with them very spottingly, or sparsely, should I say, you know. So for a person to feel as though I owe them that, I don't. Those boundaries are set there for protection of me and my energy and what genuinely vibrates with me, so that I can then create more of those genuine relationships. Anything that's forged is because I'm in a way forced to do that in that moment. So don't get those two blurred, you know. And the guy went on to say, you know, I also went on to state to him, was like, you know, I have several of many and plenty of days where I will speak directly to you, you know, greet you, and you'll either give me the side eye or act like you didn't hear me. And the guy's response was, well, I'm very to myself. I'm introverted and reclusive. I said, so am I. However, when I'm here, I put that to the side enough to be able to get along enough and cooperate enough with the person, get to know the person enough to create a relationship where we can then work enough well together the way we don't have any problems, you know. And the guy went on to say, well, again, I'm very reclusive to myself and introverted. I was like, again, so am I. But again, for all the reasons that I stated into you, is the reasonings why I don't sit and deal with you on a regular basis on some just because I want to. And then I went on to explain to him things about me that he probably would never have known until that very point. And I made it a point to help him understand that you don't know any of these things about me because you've never asked either. You've never once bothered to see who I am, but you judged me based on what you do to not just me, but people. And then you're expecting me to accept, you know, what you then dump and what you are in negative energy. You're just expecting me to accept it. I don't have to do that, you know. But in short, where was I at with that? Why everyone gets a different me? Because of boundaries. Simply put, you know, it's like, to use an example, my cousin, love that dude to death. I'll just say my cousin, right? My cousin that I live with. Love that dude to death, man. Like, for real. But we have a certain type of relationship. You know, I give him his space, he gives me mine. But when we link up, it's a very magnetic energy. And it's like, it's a very vibrant energy, right? And it's like a person who is both friends with the both of us, yet have separate relationships with us, might see the two of us and be like, dang, why don't either of them give me that? How can I? You know, like, genuinely, how can I? You know, there's going to be boundaries set just based on the type of relationship, the type of person, you know, because I give everyone a fair chance and shot. I have to. I don't approach anyone with a prejudgment, which to me is prejudice, right? I've never approached anyone with that. So I have to give everyone a fair shot. But when I notice that there's a certain outlook upon me for how I gave you that fair shot, which is really me being genuine in energy, the boundaries come and they set, like, okay, this is that, this is this, this is that, this is this. I can't do this, I should do that, I should be like this, and this is that. And to me, the boundaries set so that I can create the best relationship with you for whatever is set there, you know, for whatever the situation is, you know, so I can be the most respectful of, you know. So whenever it's more or less like, whenever there's a certain intent behind the relationship, I can't give you anything more than what you intended. you know? So again, boundaries. And to speak on that for people, it's okay to have them. There's nothing wrong with them. Again, that typically protects you 10 times out of 10 in that situation you were in, where if you didn't have any set, you would have been hurt in. So it's okay with setting those boundaries and living your life according to them, despite what the judgment may be upon your life. You living yours. You feel me? So, but yeah. And then the last is being authentic. I'm me all day, every day. And part of the reason why I kind of want to, I don't want to say shut Wavo World down, but spread it out a little bit more so that I have the energy and time to pour into it, that I, the exact way that I saw it when I said I wanted to create it. This is, for me, a substitute for what I really see this thing really being. And even down to the spacing that I'm in currently. So when you talk about all the avenues and different ways that I need to take to go about getting there, I'm definitely gonna do that. So when you talk about being authentic, deeper than the things that I've spoke on in these last 12 weeks, but the person that you guys know I am, because of that and how I live it on a regular basis, you guys are about to see a whole lot more of that. Even though I might not be sitting here on a weekly basis on the sofa, I'm gonna give you guys more of a direct light into, like, when I hear things or see things or having that direct interaction in real time, whether it be like, me in my car or me taking a walk or whatever have you. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more insight into those things, because I feel like it'll impact a little deeper. It'll make who I am as a person in Wavo World make a little more, maybe a lot more sense too. And I just kind of want to let people know that it's not about a certain look about becoming conscious, and it's not, and then consciousness isn't about presenting it in a fashion where it's so refined and refurbished to where it looks like you have no needs, like you have no worries, like you just have it all put together. Again, like in manifestation, and there's ways to manifest putting it together. But I feel like for me and my journey, I just want to be a little more open in that direction when you talk about being authentic. I don't like to sugarcoat nothing. And on Wavo World, I know that I do try to limit my profanity for sure, because I know for myself, though I'm very articulate and I have a very wide vocabulary, I do cuss a lot. But when you talk about, again, that goes back to me saying like I'm rough around the edges, but I just want to make sure that I maintain that authenticity for myself from top to bottom, for the amount of stability I see myself walking into when we talk about manifestation. So yeah, you guys are about to see a change, a very, very grave change in how I give you me. Though my boundaries are set for things, I don't want to set any boundaries for what you guys see in Wavo World, because you guys are living this thing too, and I want you guys to see for what it truly hit for, and see that it can be done, and see me come from what I came from, especially for those who know me from the little short chubby fat kid from Legion Drive all the way to this beautiful handsome young man you see in front of you. Making all of these different moves and putting the suit on to go in these corporate worlds and talk to these people deeper than just those pictures. So just a lot of different things. I want to make sure that I'm being very authentic and giving it to y'all as raw as possible for everything that I know, everything that I am, everything that I'm becoming. So yeah, that's all I really got for y'all today. If if I couldn't wrap it all into one word or one phrase today, just take the time to learn you. Don't worry about anybody that judges you for the boundaries you have set, so that you complete the goals and your mission and purpose here. And just be authentic. Be you every day. Don't worry about what nobody got to tell you about it, because I promise you, at the end of the day, like when I say the end of the day, at the end of your life, when you sit back and say, man, I really lived, that's what's gonna count. Not what they said, not how they judged you, none of that. So if you can't take nothing away from what I said today, an example from what I said for what I'm doing for me, go live your life. Max this joint out. Get up every day. Work toward whatever it is you want to do. I promise you, it'll pay off. You dig what I'm saying? So, above everything, as always, y'all stay up, y'all stay safe, y'all stay prosperous. You hear me? Love.